Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Kalica. I'm still sick and I had a jam donut for breakfast. So let's do some malicious compliance. I need to do some work? Fine, I will. So I'm a security guard in a store. One of the big things about my position is that I don't work for the store itself. I work for the security division in the company. That means that I have my own manager who's separate to and outranks any store manager. Retail is an underpaid industry. This goes for the store managers as well. This also means that a large portion of the people who accept becoming a manager do so because they're okay with a pay cut as long as they get to boss people around. This also means that store managers become angry and confused when they find out that they can't order me around, as they are literally not my boss. After a month or two, we usually come to an unspoken agreement. Life is a lot easier if we all get along. This brings me to now. We got a new store and a deputy manager a couple of months back, and they were the same way. First they wanted me to work on the till so they could save money on staff, which I told them is not happening. And then they wanted me to help them out on the shop floor. Now, I do help out, usually with lifting heavy items or helping out customers, but that's part of the whole making each other's life easier part, not because I have to. Both the managers didn't really seem to understand this. They wanted me to move an entire aisle of furniture, which they could do themselves but couldn't be arsed. I helped with a few, but my back was hurting at the time, so I said I couldn't do any more. The deputy manager then told me that maybe if I do some work, my back would stop hurting. I then later found out that the store manager also reported me to my manager for not moving the aisle of furniture. My manager said what I said. Not my job, do it yourself. This really pissed me off, but I took it to heart. You see, both managers didn't know that I knew that they were stealing. As far as I was concerned, the company was fricking all of us, so as long as they were only taking a small amount like an energy drink or a bit of food, I didn't care. But since they wanted me to do some work, I did. I spent the next couple of days going through the last month of CCTV, burning off discs of any footage of them stealing, and meticulously making records of who, when, what, and where. Their face when my manager and their boss, the area manager, came in and said that they need a private meeting with them over some security concerns. Oh, absolutely beautiful. I don't know what was said in the meeting or decided on. It was only a couple of days ago, and when it's on a store manager level, it needs to go through multiple reviews and meetings. But they're both suddenly a lot nicer to me. Figure it out myself? You got it, boss. I work in retail. I've been there for approximately 8 months. About 5 months in, the store got a new assistant manager, and we'll call him Chuck. Now, Chuck is generally a nice guy as long as you're not shirking your duties. Yes, he really does say that. He generally laughs at jokes, makes a few of his own, and is overall a nice guy most of the time. The only problem I have with him is his management style. The other managers in the store generally try to encourage, teach, and demonstrate. Chuck, by contrast, likes to poke fun, humiliate, or discourage. For example, the store manager, if he sees you're struggling, will show you a quicker, more efficient way of doing your job. Then he leaves you to either do it that way or the way that you were doing it. Most people are grateful for the guidance and change how they do the job. Chuck, meanwhile, will say things like,
The industry standard is X stock per minute. Why aren't you doing that?
or
My grandmother could do this job faster than you, and she's dead.
he always laughs after saying whatever he says, and I honestly think that he thinks he's ribbing in good nature. However, anyone seeing our faces when he's managing would be able to tell that we don't appreciate it. Anyway, this was all backstory. Now on to the compliance. I usually work outside gathering the shopping carts. However, Chuck asked me to do some cleaning inside after I finished topping up the carts. Now what he asked me to clean was something I had never cleaned before, and after only a few minutes, I couldn't figure out how to disassemble the item in question to clean it. So I walked back over to Chuck and asked him to show me how I was supposed to disassemble the unit, since I didn't want to damage it due to ignorance. This is when he uttered one of his iconic lines.
Pretend I got hit by a bus and figure it out for yourself.
This is a line he usually uses when he's too busy talking to someone else. But he's not talking to anyone. He was walking somewhere. He wasn't on the phone. He wasn't moving product. He was just on his way somewhere. And the unit I was supposed to be cleaning was just 10 feet away around a corner. It would have taken him maybe 30 to 45 seconds to walk over and show me the proper procedure, but he just didn't have the time for whatever reason. Well, he told me to figure it out myself, so I did. I walked into the back room, found a phone on the wall, and pushed the button for the store PA system. Would a senior employee or manager who does not answer sincere junior employee questions with "pretend I got hit by a bus and figure it out yourself, please report to the meat department for junior employee assistance? Thank you!" I walked out of the back room and Chuck is just staring at me. He doesn't look angry, or disappointed, or even upset. He's just straight shocked, jaw on the floor. As I walked past him, I said, "Got it figured out, boss. Thanks." In the end, I got a verbal warning for frivolous use of the PA system, but it was just so worth it to get one over on him. Don't check emails outside of work? No problem. Old workplace made an oops. For convenience, a lot of employees would install a popular email app on their phone and check their work email on it. It never was a requirement, no one was expected to. It just made it easier to not have to find a computer to check your messages. There was limited workstations. Apparently, someone decided to put in for overtime whenever they answered an email off hours. It seems their supervisor made it seem like it was a requirement to be available to work on projects. Good for them. Eventually, it added up high enough to flag in the system. Q, a strongly worded letter from a higher up that said, "Do not answer emails outside of work hours. And by having your work email on your personal phone is now discoverable for legal purposes." As in, everything you have, pictures, messages, etc., become evidence. Q, hundreds of employees immediately deleting the app off their phones. Shortly after, it becomes apparent just how much business was being taken care of this way. So now, instead of a quick email and a problem is fixed, supervisors have to wait until the person comes back on shift. Text message? Nope. Once people find out talking work via text also makes your phone into evidence, messages mysteriously stop getting answered. Calls? Same thing. Shortly after, an explanation email came out saying that, oops, that was only supposed to go to that person's supervisors. And yes, you can read your emails outside of work, but you won't be paid, and please don't put in overtime for it. Too late. Damage done. For the next 2 years that I know of, because I left, every new person hired was warned by the existing employees about this. Enough people kept the email that it stayed in circulation. And now I will never allow a work app on my personal phone. Quick edit. To the naysayers regarding the whole everything on your phone becomes discoverable in a court case idea as I won't ever happen, it had already happened to people. Lawyers grasp at straws and also like to try and drown the other side in evidence at times. I can't give more information without doxing myself, but yes, if there is litigation against your work and you have work information on your personal phone, like emails and texts, that might possibly in some way have to do with the case, and you're in the United States, your phone can be subpoenaed. I think that's the right way of saying that, I have no idea. And they know the "I lost it in a boating accident" game. However, this story was about how a whole bunch of people suddenly got their after work lives made brighter from one email sent to the entire workforce that was just meant for a select group, and no one could reverse it or prevent it from sticking around for the new people. Okay, so that's all for r/MaliciousCompliance. I really hope you did enjoy it. As always, if you do want to see more videos like this, then please do subscribe. Any support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching.